I'm going to have to be really careful with the first few sips because I've sort of overfilled things this morning. Yeah. Anyway, here we are, step 49. I've already checked. I know I need the J sprue again. And we need the H sprue. We would have needed the L sprue, except that we already made the pieces. Let's get going here and nip off some parts. H, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And here they are, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, when I assemble 8 and 9 and 10 and 11, they're going to be distinctively different. And at first I was thinking that 19 and 20 were the same when I was looking at them on the sprue here. But there's a very subtle difference. So I'm going to put them in different trays and try and keep them separate, just in case. Like we know that 19 is going to go with a piece that looks like that, and 20 is going to go with this one. But if I can't tell the two apart, if I get them mixed up, yeah, there could be a problem later on. Now, what I'm noticing the difference between 19 and 20 is that this one has, it looks like about a dozen little flanges all the way around the outside, and this one has less flanges. The position of this notch right here seems to be in the same place in relation to this piece right here. This piece right here is keyed, so obviously it has to go a certain way. Would this affect something later on in the build? I don't know. But like I say, I want to try and keep it right. Now, I was just wondering, what if I was to get these mixed up? There's no parts number on these smaller pieces. I did notice that some of the really big pieces, like the superstructure, there was a part number. But they were so obvious you don't need to worry about them. But what if I got them mixed up? How would I know which one was H20 and which was H19? Because the drawings are the same. I cannot see any difference. Well, then I remembered. In the front of this manual is all the sprues are listed. And so when I checked, I found out, sure enough, there's enough of a difference that I would have been able to see which was 19 and which was 20. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And here's our H sprue. It's reduced down quite a bit. But here is 19 and 20. I'll zoom in on that. Now if you look closely, you can see there are more segments on this drawing right here than there are on this one. More segments, less segments. So a person could tell them apart. I don't know if all small parts would be like that, but at least these two are. H18. I got a feeling this piece is going to go up over top of our motor launches. Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? I don't need to have a special tin for this. Now, the J5s, they obviously are the same, otherwise they wouldn't be called a J5 each, if you know what I mean. And you may remember we have two J sprues, and each one has one number 5. I didn't nip it all the way through. There we go. We need 2 J51s. Now, the J51 is missing. Then I remembered. One of them broke off the sprue a long time ago, months ago, and I put it in a little package, and I remember thinking, you know what, I may as well nip them both off at the same time and keep them. It's just a very tiny little part. You'll see it when we go to stick it on. You can see the whole thing is missing here. Anyway, giving you more information again than you need to know. Now I just noticed we also need the E sprue. E34. Now I know I'm nipping off a lot of extra sprue here, but I'll trim it up afterwards. Alright, E34. We don't need no more. I think I should be able to trim these in about an hour. Yeah, I think I'll make it. We have all the sprue and all the flashing snipped and sanded and filed, and these little guys right here, okay, they actually plug in right here into these holes. I wonder what they are. Do you suppose we can find them in Stefan's book? Just for the fun of it, let's see if we can. Now, when I say something like that, it's not like I actually know that it's there or it's not there. I actually don't know. And we're going to be hunting together. Maybe we'll be disappointed, and maybe we won't. Well, as I'm making this recording, I know that we sort of will be disappointed. Okay. It should be in the aft section. Hull structure, I must have missed it here. Superstructure 4. Aft part. Okay. We'll just check right around here. Should be a few pages one way or the other. I'll find it and then I'll show it to you, if I can find it. Okay. It's this part right here, which mounts onto this part here that goes over top of the boats, which is this piece right here. So it is got to be right in there. Let's see if we can find a better picture. There we go. It doesn't really show what they are though. I'll hang the camera up from above and we'll look down at it. Okay, this is the section right here. Well, here's our little part. Try and get it orientated so it's the same as the picture. From what I can see, these little pieces would go right here. They don't really match up with the drawing, I'm afraid. Mind you, this was May of 41, so it could be that there was changes. That was kind of a waste of time. As they say, sorry about that. Well, thank goodness for microwaves. This stuff tastes about as good now as it did a few hours ago when I first made it. Yeah, usually I drink that down a lot faster than that. Or is this my second cup now? Can't remember anymore. It's getting so long. Now, these little pieces right here, I did go through the rest of the book and I thought possibly I could find them, in fittings, but I couldn't. So I don't know what they were. I know they're not a locker because they seem to have some sort of little controls on the front. But I think if I'm smart, I'm going to mount them on this piece right now and, get them glued in place so I don't lose them. They're probably going to end up being, sprayed the same color. I don't know what I'm going to do about painting yet. Something like this is going to be a little bit difficult to paint. This is the up position like this. This is the underside. And I don't know what all these little areas were for here. You know, it looks like you could get in behind there and maybe, I have no idea. Anyway, the idea is these pieces here get mounted like this, and then they plug in. You can see where the holes are in the deck here. But of course this all has to be painted after it's glued together, and I'll probably have to, after I glue these parts together, I'll have to file and sand the seam so it doesn't show when I spray. Anyway, I think the next thing I'm going to do is mount these in those little holes. But a moment ago, one of these was positioned in such a place that it blended in with the diagram, and I couldn't see it. I thought, oh no, don't tell me I've lost one already. Anyway, you'll notice that one side of these, this top side, it looks like it's either got hinges or handles or little controls or something. Well, they go on the inside here. This groove that you see going up and down the back, that's for the mast. So what we're going to have to do, just a moment here. Okay, try and position it on here, something like that. I think that once I get some extra thin on the peg, it'll soften everything and it'll fit better. And I do believe I'm going to use different tweezers too. Oh, speaking of these tweezers, one of the viewers says, why don't you put silicone on the inside of the tweezer instead of rubber? It's a thought, you know. I do have some silicone down in the workshop too. Okay, we'll do this one first. Okay, I think that's about right. Maybe I can put a little less on this one. That one went better. It's not quite straight. Looks like it needs to lean ahead just a little. Okay. I think we got them. You know, I'm always amazed at how many little pieces of dust and stuff that I miss until we look through the macro lens. I gotta be sure and blow these off real good before I use the airbrush. Now on these pieces here, you notice there's a couple of little bumps, one there and one there. And I think the idea is, if I can get this just right here, they're supposed to fit one on each side of this part that you see right here sticking up. So I think I'm just going to use extra thin. That should work really good. Now I've taken it off of the paper here because I find that the parts have a tendency to slide around when I'm trying to work on them, whereas on this little famous brown towel, you know, I had the famous green towel down in the workshop. Well, up here I think I got a famous brown one. Anyway, if I can get this picked up here, get everything ready to go. I do have it at the right angle, so okay, just hold that here. Put on some extra thin. Oh my. Didn't mean to put on quite that much. just wanted to soften the plastic here. Maybe I'll put some on the bottom here too. Okay, get that out of the way. Now I don't think it creeped up to the where the tweezers are, because if it did, when I let go, something's going to stick. Oh, that's not quite right. No. Maybe I'll use my fingers here. Just hold that down. I'm sorry if my finger's in your way there, but okay, I think that's going to be all right. Maybe if I put some more extra thin on here, it'll kind of fill in the crack. What happens is the extra thin flows in. Okay, now when the extra thin evaporates out of there, it should just leave solidified plastic. Well, check it out in a few minutes. I know it looks like it's wet here, but it's not. It's actually dry. That's solidified plastic. It's welded together. That's a very strong joint. The legs would break off before the joint would give way. And I did the second one pretty much the same way. It went really well, actually. Now, you would think this would be easy, wouldn't you? Oh, I got them the wrong way around, that's why. I better re-wet here. There we go. I'll just put a little bit of pressure there, and I know that there's going to be, liquid plastic oozing out of the crack. But like I was mentioning earlier, I'm going to be, refiling and sanding anyway, and chances are that, in all likelihood, we're not even going to be able to see that crack after it's sprayed over. And if we do, well, it'll just look like a weld that is supposed to be there. Okay, let's see if we can do the other one now. Now the other one's a little bit more obvious here. I don't think I need to do a dry run, but maybe I should have. Murphy's Law. Went good. I think that's all right. I'll just leave those for a few minutes and sand them. Now, according to step 49 here, this piece gets glued on, right here. That fits nicely. I think that could probably be glued on right now. It's not going to affect the spraying. So let's go ahead and do that. Ah! Now you remember I was talking about little tiny pieces of dust? Well, I think we can get that, but I'll have to do it off camera. Okay, it's gone. Now, I was just about to say there's not a whole lot left to do on 49, but my goodness, there is. And okay, so these have to be glued on. Right here and here. But that will have to be after this is painted. These can go on, but these should be filed down first. Then these observation units, they'll get mounted in. I guess you can figure that out. I think they get mounted in, oh, this goes like this. Okay, so they get mounted in that hole you see there. Well, I don't like sanding and filing, but I guess I better get at it. So that'll be the next thing to do, and we'll be back in, well, for you it'll be a moment, and for me it'll be about an hour. Now, I was just thinking, I've got to have a machine down in my workshop that'll do this. All those power tools down there, it's got to be something. Notice that there's some detail right here. Got to be careful I don't go around too far and get that off. Anyway, I think I've pretty much gone as far as I can with the file. Now this is my my fine sanding stick. I find that the next step up, which is called a medium, is too coarse. Anyway, we'll get it. I can well imagine by the time we're through here that, as I mentioned before, by the time this is sprayed, we're not even going to see that. Well, is it perfect? No. Is it better than it was? Oh yeah. This one turned out better. Now I just know that somebody is getting all ready to type in the comments, and they're going to say, why didn't you use that sprue goo on these things? And I don't know. You know what? Trumpeter is going to come out with the Titanic soon in 200 scale. That'd be a fun kit to make. You could get that, and I showed you how to mix up the sprue goo. You could do it yourself. Or even better still, last night I was doing a little investigating, and they've got, Trumpeter has the Iowa battleship in 200 scale. Now that's a ship you can actually go on, and you can be sure the trumpeter would have gone over there with their measuring tape and got everything just right. Because it's not like trying to, do the Bismarck. Yeah, you got to go from pictures and plans that, don't exist. Yeah, anyway, I'm not trying to be sarcastic here, but there's just only so much I'm willing to do here, and I know I could have used the sprue glue in the cracks. I want to get this done. It's, what is it now, half a year or more? Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. Okay, let's see what we can do here. 19 goes with this one, and 20 goes with this one. And you notice it's keyed there. Well, in the bottom here, you can see it's sort of keyed. So it's got to go like this. Yeah, sort of locks into place there. Okay, so we know that one fits. And this is actually the first time I've tried it, so. And this one goes, no, this one here I want to be careful I don't get it the wrong way up. Because it can go the wrong way, I think. Okay, what does it show there? See these little bumps right here on the side are these bumps here, but where are they? Are they on the bottom? What else have we got here? There's a telltale. Oh, okay. These two here, they're at the bottom. Okay, so that means this one has to go like this. Yeah, here, lock it in place. Yeah. That shouldn't be too hard. All right. Okay, let's double check. Is there anything on 49 that we have to do yet? The boats were made a long time ago. This is made. That's made. Observation sets are made, and this part is made. These are made and glued on. This is all done. The life rafts we can't glue on until this is painted. So I think the next thing left to do is painting. And I think we're going to have to leave that for tomorrow. Probably just as well. We're down to the last of the coffee here. Well, there's more in the pot. Anyway, thanks for watching. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, and if I sounded a little bit cranky there about the sprue glue, oh, as Canadians say, sorry about that.